Russian colonel and Z-War correspondent Viktor Baranets harshly criticized statements by dictator Vladimir Putin and Chief of the General Staff Valery Gerasimov about the encirclement of Ukrainian units in the Pokrovsk and Kupiansk areas. According to him, the sweeping claims about cauldrons bear no relation to reality. Baranets publicly posed a direct question to the Russian military command: where are those very same multiple encirclements that the Kremlin constantly talks about? Where have we seen a cauldron epidemic in the last year and a half? 10, maybe 5 at least. But there aren't any. Why are we fooling each other? It's artificial bravado. People, this is very dangerous. Especially when it's done by big-name people who hang around in big headquarters, Baronet said. According to him, the government is trying to instill in citizens the illusion of success. Well, I want to say that we're thrashing everyone, that we're going on the offensive, sweeping everyone away. Well, I want to. Well, look, when did they tell us about 2 cauldrons? A couple of weeks ago, I think. And now we're wriggling like snakes. Such nonsense we're spouting to our majesty, our citizen. Such crap. The propagandist declared. According to Barnes, all talk of a tight encirclement ring does not stand up to factual scrutiny. Haven't we heard that there's a 2-kilometer hole in one boiler? And that boiler, it turns out, is a leaky basin, he said. The Z propagandist drew attention to the gap between propaganda and reality. He recalled that the Russian command promised tens of thousands of Ukrainian troops, who were allegedly encircled. They said that 10,000 to 15,000 Ukrainian soldiers were trapped in the cauldrons. They said that, right? I'm waiting for those columns, endless columns with their paws raised, advancing. It's been 3 weeks already. Guys, where are the cauldrons? He said. The colonel admitted that the Russian army is too weak to encircle such a large number of Ukrainian forces. I think we have problems. We can't quite close this fire. What's there to be embarrassed about? It's true. This is war, he said. Barnes says he receives caustic questions from his own listeners every day. Every day I hear snide questions in my headphones. So, are you still hanging around? Where are your boilers? He complained. Earlier, military and political commentator Michael Naki said that Gerasimov claimed that Russia has 3 cauldrons: Pokrovsk, Myrnohrad, and Kupiansk are surrounded. That's complete nonsense, as grounded in reality as Ukraine in 3 days. And I understand why he's saying this. You remember Gerasimov's report to Putin not long ago, like a month ago. The one where the chief of the general staff had to invent the story that Kupiansk was almost taken? So, do you know what's changed on the front in a month? Nothing. Well, I mean, absolutely nothing. Except that Russia lost a bunch of equipment, which it started using again to make any progress, he added. The soil surrounding the Naftogaz gas facility in central Ukraine was once all pitch black before much of it was burned to a rusty red by a massive Russian drone and missile assault. Scattered remnants of Shahid drones littered the reservoir designated for storing tanks of liquefied propane gas. Nearly a month after the October 30th attack, several tanks were empty and in ruins. It's very painful to watch all this, because I saw the formation, construction, operation, all possible troubles, victories of this entrepreneur, said Victor, who has worked at the facility for 28 years and who cannot be named in full for security reasons. But we have what we have. We have to keep working. The Associated Press gained exclusive access to Naftogaz gas extraction fields in central Ukraine last week. The Associated Press is the first and only news outlet to be allowed to film and photograph war damage at the facilities. Due to strict security protocols, Associated Press cannot name the facility or its exact location. Russia has targeted Ukrainian gas extraction this year in a bid to hurt morale and force Ukraine to import large quantities of expensive gas which it can ill afford. Without the attacks, Ukraine would be able to cover the overwhelming majority of its consumption using its domestic extraction. Two devastating attacks on Ukraine's gas extraction facilities in March and October mean the country must import an additional 4.4 billion cubic meters this winter, said Serhiy Koretsky, Naftogaz CEO, in an interview in Kyiv on Friday. To fill the gap, he said Naftogaz was negotiating with U.S. government lenders to secure financing to buy American liquefied natural gas. To sustainably pass the heating season, we are forced to import additional volumes of gas, said Koretsky. Ukraine's energy crisis played into the negotiations for a peace deal over the past week, a senior Ukrainian official told Associated Press on condition of anonymity because they're not authorized to speak to the media.
Атака була як ракетами, комбінована, як ракетами, так і шахедами. В частності резервуарний парк, на якому ми знаходимося, був атакований ракетами. Бачимо, які наслідки відбулись після цих прильотів. Дуже болісно на все це дивитись, тому що на моїх очах відбувалося становлення, будівництво, експлуатація, всі якісь можливі негаразди і перемоги на цьому підприємстві. Дуже, звісно, це дивитись печально. Але маємо те, що маємо. Мусимо працювати далі.